day everyone! Last time ay tinalakay natin ang phrases sa part 1 ng ating discussion. Ngayon naman, dito sa part 2, ay pag-uusapan naman natin ang clauses and sentences kung saan habang hinihimay-himay natin ang clauses ay i-insert ko ang discussion sa sentences. And again, para mas madali niyong maintindihan ay ipaliliwanag ko ito in Filipino. So wag na natin patagalin pa at simulan na natin. Clauses and sentences, definition, types, and examples. Ano nga ba ang clauses or clause? A clause is a group of related words containing a subject and predicate. Para makabuo ng clause ay kinakailangan ng words and phrases. Pero ikinaiba ni clauses sa phrases ay merong subject and predicate ang clause, kung saan ito ay maihahalin tulad din sa sentences. Sisimulan natin sa two main types of clauses, ang independent clause or main clause, at dependent clause or subordinate clause. Then we will dive into the various parts of speech that can also band together to form clauses. So tingnan natin itong sentence na ito. She is buying a bag which looks elegant. Itong sample sentence natin ay may dalawang clauses. Una, she is buying a bag. At ang ikalawa naman, which looks elegant. So madali nating madi-differentiate sa pamamagitan ng paggamit ng dalawang magkaibang kulay. Ang clause na she is buying a bag ay nag-express ng kompletong idea or complete thought. At it can stand alone as a sentence. So itong clause na ito ay isang halimbawa ng tinatawag nating independent clause. She is buying a bag. So ito ay may complete thought. Ito namang clause na which looks elegant ay hindi nag-express ng complete thought at cannot stand as a sentence. It depends on another clause, which is the independent clause, para makapag-express ng idea. Kaya kung titingnan natin, which looks elegant, may kulang. Ano ang looks elegant? Kulang siya. Ibig sabihin, it does not express a complete idea. So ito ay isang halimbawa ng tinatawag na dependent clause. So kung titingnan natin, kaya ito tinawag na independent clause dahil kahit wala itong kulay green, ay meron siyang ine-express na kompletong idea at naiintindihan kung anong ibig sabihin. Dito naman, kaya siya tinawag na dependent clause dahil kung wala itong independent clause na she is buying a bag, ay hindi ma-express ang buong idea na gustong sabihin. Which looks elegant, hindi siya kompleto. So, unahin natin ang independent clause. Ano nga ba ang independent clause? Independent clause is a clause that expresses a complete thought and can stand as a sentence. These clauses will always contain a subject and a predicate. Ang key idea natin dito ay ang independent clause ay can stand alone. Alright? So they can join with a dependent clause or other independent clauses para makabuo ng complex sentence na i-discuss natin mamaya. So here are examples of independent clause. I met the student who had helped me. Maria is wearing a shirt which looks nice. Jerry takes medicine because he suffers from fever. Kaya naman kahit tanggalin natin itong who had helped me, I met the student. It expresses a complete thought. Tanggalin natin yung which looks nice, Maria is wearing a shirt. It expresses a complete thought. Tanggalin natin yung because he suffers from fever, Jerry takes medicine. It expresses a complete thought. At mula dito ay may sisingit natin ng isang type of sentence according to structure. Kaya kung talagang tatanggalin natin tong mga to, ang mga may iwan ay tinatawag na simple sentences. Again, it's a type of sentence according to structure. Ano nga bang ibig sabihin ng simple sentence? Simple sentences are made up of one independent clause and therefore form a complete thought. So, ilang independent clause ang nakikita natin sa bawat example? Isa lang. I met the student, that's one. Maria is wearing a shirt. Jerry takes medicine. Automatic, ang isang independent clause ay mako-consider na simple sentence. let's proceed to connecting independent clauses. So, independent clauses can be connected in different ways. Una ay by adding a coordinating conjunction. Pag sinabi natin coordinating conjunction, tatandaan lang itong fanboys. So, isa-isahin natin kung anong ba itong fanboys na ito. So, for letter F, it stands for 4. For example, I go to the library for I love to read. Gumamit tayo ng 4 to connect two independent clauses. I go to the library at I love to read. Ang letter A naman ay and. Sally didn't speak to anyone and no one spoke to her. So, ginamit natin ang and para i-connect yung dalawang independent clauses na Sally didn't speak to anyone at no one spoke to her. Ang letter N naman stands for nor. Kate doesn't like vanilla, nor she dislike chocolate. So, we use the word or the conjunction nor para i-connect ang Kate doesn't like vanilla at she does like chocolate. B stands for but. Mrs. Cruz asked a question but nobody answered. So, gumamit tayo ng but para i-connect yung Mrs. Cruz asked a question but nobody answered. O stands for or. I will read a book or I will watch a movie. So, we connected I will read a book and I will watch a movie by using the word or. Y stands for yet. He was late for class, yet he still stopped to buy snacks. Ang ginamit natin dito ay yet. And S stands for so. I want to impress my teacher, so I did my best. So, ginamit natin ang so to connect I want to impress my teachers at I did my best. So, take note na itong mga ito ay ginagamit natin para i-connect ang dalawang independent clauses na may kaugnayan sa isa't isa. Another way of connecting independent clauses ay by using a semicolon. So, sa mga hindi nakakaalam ng itsura ng semicolon, ito po yun. Alright? For example, I didn't eat the last bread. I ate the last egg. So, kahit hindi tayo gumamit ng words para pagdugtungin yung dalawang clauses, we can just simply use a semicolon. And syempre, dapat merong kaugnayan or related sa isa't isa yung dalawang clauses na pinagsasama natin. Another example, that is a white rose. It means pure love. So, take note na after the semicolon ay small letter lang ginagamit natin. Dito kasi we always use capital letter for I. Next, today life begins anew. Choose wisely. Next way to connect independent clauses ay using a semicolon at conjunctive adverb. So, ano-ano ba yung conjunctive adverb? At ito ang however, moreover, nevertheless, therefore, etc. For example, I went to the park, semicolon. However, comma, huwag kakalimutan ng comma. The rain dampened my mood. Another example, you will enjoy this book, semicolon. Moreover, comma, it will change your life. She was invincible. Nevertheless, he tried to steal her joy. Okay? And speaking of types of sentence according to structure, itong mga ito, using coordinating conjunction, using a semicolon, and using a semicolon and conjunctive adverb. Kapag ito ay pinagsama-sama, ito ay mga halimbawa ng type of sentence na tinatawag na compound sentence. So, ano bang ibig sabihin ng compound sentence? Compound sentences are made up of two independent clauses joined in one of the following ways. So, again, ilang independent clauses daw? Dalawa. At pinagsasama sila sa pamamagitan ng mga paraan na ito. Number 1, coordinating conjunction with a comma. So, yung fanboys. Okay? At ito yung mga halimbawa. Number 2, a semicolon only. These are the examples. And a semicolon with a conjunctive adverb. And these are the examples. So, lahat ito ay examples ng type of sentence according to structure na compound sentences. Alright? So we're done with independent clause. Let's move to dependent clause. Ano nga bang ibig sabihin ng dependent clause? Dependent clause is a clause which does not express complete thought and depends on another clause. Nakadepende siya sa independent clause to express complete thought. So a sentence having a dependent clause must have an independent clause para ma-convey yung idea na ina-express. So ang key idea dito ay cannot stand alone. Ang independent clause ay can stand alone. Ang dependent clause naman ay cannot stand alone. Let's have these examples. We built a campfire after the sunset. I'll eat ice cream if it is strawberry flavored. Jerry takes medicine because he suffers from fever. So itong mga to, yung mga naka-green ay halimbawa ng dependent clauses. At kung titingnan, hindi sila nag-express ng complete thought. Nakadepende ito sa main clause or sa independent clause para ma-express yung complete thought. So after the sunset ay nakadepende sa clause na we built a campfire. Ganun din sa mga susunod. Tatanggalin natin yung mga independent clauses, mawawalan na ng sense yung dependent clause. After the sunset, anong meron after the sunset? If it is strawberry flavored, anong meron kung strawberry flavored? Because he suffers from fever, anong meron kung nagsasuffer siya from fever? At itong mga ito ay tinatawag din natin sentence fragment or incomplete sentences. Kasi nga may kulang. Ano yung kulang? Yung independent clause. Kaya nga ito ay sinasabi na cannot stand alone. Okay? So by itself, a dependent clause cannot be considered a sentence. So standing alone, it would be considered sentence fragment or an incomplete sentence. So kinakailangan pa itong i-combine sa independent clause para maka-form ng complete thought. Alright? At mula dito ay papasok ulit natin ang types of sentence according to structure. So ibalik natin itong mga to. Ayan. Ato. We built a campfire after the sunset. I'll eat ice cream if it is strawberry flavored. Jerry takes medicine because he suffers from fever. Itong mga to ay halimbawa ng tinatawag nating complex sentences. Ano nga ba ang complex sentences? Complex sentences contain one independent and one dependent clause. So, isa-isahin natin yung mga halimbawa. Bilangin natin kung ilan yung independent at dependent clause sa bawat isa. So, dito, we have one IC or independent clause. We built a campfire. Dito naman, we have one DC or dependent clause after the sunset. So, next example, we have one IC, I'll eat ice cream, and one DC if it is strawberry flavored. Dito naman, Jerry takes medicine, that's one independent clause, and because he suffers from fever, ay isang dependent clause. So, check yung number 1 natin. Next naman, the dependent clause begins with a subordinating conjunction. Kung ang independent clause ay may coordinating conjunction, ang dependent clause ay may subordinating conjunction. Ma'am, ano po yung subordinating conjunction? Madali lang tandaan. Kung ito ay hindi isa sa fanboys, therefore, ito ay subordinating conjunction. Alright? Ulitin natin, ano yung fanboys? For, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. So kung hindi isa sa mga yon, ito ay subordinating conjunction. So, isa-isahin natin kung saan nagsisimula ang ating mga dependent clauses. So, dito sa una, after, ito ay isang subordinating conjunction. If, subordinating conjunction din. And because, subordinating conjunction also. The complex sentences, ang clauses, ay pwedeng mag-appear in any order. So, pwede nating baliktarin ito. Like, for example, after the sunset, we built a campfire. If it is strawberry flavored, I will eat ice cream. Because he suffers from fever, Jerry takes medicine. So, pwede nating baliktarin yung DC and IC. Okay? Next naman natin. Ngayon, ang dependent clause ay may tatlong forms. Alright? So, it can be a noun clause, an adjective clause, or an adverb clause. Right? So it may function as noun, as adjective, or as adverb in a sentence. So on the basis of their function in a sentence, dependent clauses can be divided into these types. So simulan natin sa dependent clause as noun clause. Ano nga ba ang noun clause? A noun clause is a group of words that band together and act like a noun. They often begin with words like how, that, what, when, where, which, who, why. So noun clauses are used when a single word isn't enough. So ito ay laging dependent clause. They cannot stand alone as a complete sentence. Ayan. Let's have these examples. What I want for dinner is adobo. Clause na what I want for dinner ay nagpa-function as subject. Okay? And again, nagsisimula siya sa word na what. Itong naka-green ay ang ating dependent clause. Next, the man told us how he escaped. Ang how he escaped ay nagpa-function as direct object ng verb na told. Okay? Ano daw yung sinabi ng man? How he escaped. Dito sa what I need most. Ang what I need most ay ang complement ng linking verb na is. And last, pass it to whoever arrives first. Ang verb arrives first ay nagpa-function as object of the preposition ng to. At lahat ng ito ay ang functions ng noun. Kaya naman itong mga dependent clauses na ito ay tinatawag na noun clause dahil they function as noun in the sentence. And again, they cannot stand alone. Kaya kung tatanggalin natin yung is adobo, the man told us, a break is, pass it to, mawawalan ng sense yung clause. Alright? So next, we have dependent clause as adjective clause. Ano ba yung adjective clause? Ayan, so a dependent clause that acts as an adjective in a sentence is called adjective clause. Okay? So from the word adjective, yun din yung function niya doon sa sentence. The function of an adjective is to modify or describe a noun or pronoun. So these clauses tend to begin with pronouns such as who, whose, that, which. Again, ang function ng mga ito ay as adjective. So let's have these examples. An orange that smells bad is rotten. Ang clause na that smells bad ay halimbawa ng adjective clause. It functions as adjective, ibig sabihin, meron siyang dinidescribe. Ano raw yung smells bad? Yung orange. Next, the book which I like is helpful in preparation for test. Ang which I like ay dinidescribe sa book. Next, the house where I live consists of 3 rooms. Ang clause na where I live ay nagde-describe sa house. And the lady who was shouting needed help. Who was shouting ay nagde-describe sa lady. Okay? Ngayon, again, tatanggalin natin itong mga ito. Mawawalan na ng sense yung mga clauses. That smells bad. Which I like, where I live, who was shouting. Okay? Kasi tinanggal natin yung an orange is rotten. The book is helpful in preparation for test. The house consists of 3 rooms. The lady needed help. So kung mapapansin, kahit tanggalin natin yung mga naka-green or yung mga dependent clauses, magsa-stand alone pa rin yung may iwan. Right? Next naman tayo, dependent clause as adverb clause. A dependent clause that acts as an adverb in a sentence is called adverb clause. It modifies or describes the situation in the independent clause in terms of time, frequency or how often, cause and effect, contrast, condition, intensity, or to what extent. Adverb clauses answer questions like how, when, where, why, to what extent, and under what conditions. So, ang adverb clause ay parang adverb na nagmo-modify ng verb, adjective, and adverb sa sentence. Alternating conjunctions used for adverb clauses are as follows. So, meron tayong words na ginagamit sa adverb clauses. Ito yung magsisignal na yung clause na yun ay adverb clauses. These are the following. For time, we have when, whenever, since, until, before, after, while, as, by the time, as soon as. Para naman sa cause and effect, we have because, since, now that, as long as, so that. Para naman sa contrast, we have although, even, whereas, while, though. And for condition, we have if, unless, only if, whether or not, even if, providing or providing that in case. So, ilan lang to sa mga ginagamit natin subordinating conjunctions used for adverb clauses. Let's have these examples. Don't go before he comes. It indicates time. He takes medicine because he is ill. Ito naman ay nagpapahayag ng cause and effect. At to school unless it rains. Ito naman ay nagpapahayag ng condition. And although he tried a lot, he couldn't climb up the tree. This one ay nagpapahayag ng contrast. Now, kapag tinanggal natin ang don't go, which is an independent clause, he takes medicine, an independent clause also. I will go to school, an independent clause, and he couldn't climb up the tree, an independent clause. Mawawalan ng sense ang mga naka-green or dependent clauses. Before he comes, because he is ill, unless it rains, although he tried a lot. So, nakadepende ang mga ito sa main clause or independent clause na tinanggal natin. Now, how to check kung ano nga bang type of dependent clause ito? Kung ito ba ay noun, adjective, or adverb clause. First, does it function as subject, object, direct object, complement, or object of the preposition? If the answer is yes, then it is a noun clause. Next question. Does it modify or describe a noun or pronoun? If your answer is yes, then it is an adjective clause. And does it answer questions like how, where, when, why, to what extent, and under what condition? If the answer is yes, then it is an adverb clause. Alright, tapusin natin yung types of sentence according to structure kasi meron pang naiiwang isa. So kung i-reviewin natin yung mga nauna, we have simple sentences, compound sentences, and complex sentences. And the fourth type of sentence according to structure ay tinatawag na compound complex sentences. So dito pa lang, makikita na natin na ito ay pinagsamang compound sentence at complex sentence. So paano ba ito nagpo-form? Tingnan natin. Compound complex sentences are made up of the following. Meron daw isang dependent clause at dalawa o higit pang independent clause. Ulitin natin, ilang dependent clause? Isa. Ilang independent clause? Dalawa or higit pa. So, tingnan natin itong halimbawa. Since we wanted to have fun, my boyfriend and I went to party yesterday and we danced all night. Himay-himayin natin kung swak ba itong example na to sa compound complex sentence. Ayan, so para mas madali nating maintindihan, gamit ulit tayo ng magkakaibang kulay. Kung saan ang kulay green ay dependent clause at ang blue naman ay independent clause. So bilangin natin, ilang dependent clause ang meron tayo? Isa. At ito nga ay ang since we wanted to have fun, which can stand alone kung yan lang. Now, let's count kung ilang independent clauses meron tayo. Meron tayong isa. My boyfriend and I went to party yesterday. Can it stand alone? Yes. At meron pang isa. We danced all night. Can it stand alone? Yes. Kung papansin, itong dalawang independent clauses ay kinumbine ng word na and. Again, one dependent clause plus two or more independent clauses in compound complex sentences. Alright? At para ituloy-tuloy ang discussion about sentence, bukod sa types of sentence according to structure, meron din tayong types of sentence according to function or use. Kung ano nga ba yung gamit niya. So we have 4 types of sentence according to function. Una ay tinatawag nating declarative sentence. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng declarative sentence? It expresses a statement. It ends with a period. So ano daw? Ito ay nagpapahayag ng pagsasalaysay. Sa Tagalog, ito ay pasalaysay na pangusap at nagtatapos sa tuldok or period. Halimbawa, I like reading novels. Leah bought flowers. Kurt is a smart kid. The stars are bright. So lahat ng ito ay nag-express ng statement or pagsasalaysay at nagtatapos sa tuldok. Okay? Next naman natin ay interrogative sentence. Ask a question, ends with a question mark. So ito ay ang mga pangusap na patanong. Halimbawa, meron tayong dalawang uri ng tanong. Yes-no question at WH question. Is this your jacket? Kapag sinabing yes-no, answerable siya sa yes or no. Kapag WH naman, where do you live? Ito yung mga tanong na nagsisimula sa what, where, when, which, why, who, how. Okay? So, nagtatanong at nagtatapos sa question mark. Next type of sentence according to function ay imperative sentence. It gives command, order, or request. Ends with a period. So, ito ay yung mga pangusap na pautos. Okay? For example, pass the papers. Please send me a copy. Close the door. Kindly leave a comment. So, nagtatapos sa tuldok. Take note, according to function ay exclamatory sentence. Expresses strong emotion and ends with exclamation point. So, ito yung mga nagpapahayag ng matinding damdamin. Kaya naman sa Filipino, ito ay tinatawag na padamdam. So, nagtatapos ito sa exclamation point. Example, I hate you. We're going to Japan. Ouch, it hurts. I'm so excited. So, lahat ng ito ay nagpapahayag ng matinding damdamin. Alright? So, dyan natatapos ang ating talakayan sa phrases, clauses, and sentences. Kung saan isa-isa natin ibigay ang mga definition, types, and examples. Naway sa dalawang parts ng video na ito ay nabusog ang inyong mga isipan sa mga kaalamang tinalakay natin. So again, good day everyone.